Hi, Mom. Today, I'm going to share a story. So, I'm sitting on my couch, playing games on my phone, and it's 3 a.m. And I told myself this is going to be the last time that I did this. I got 3 different snacks out, and I'm just eating everything I can. TV's also on YouTube, binge watching some random video. I told myself so many times I would never do this again. And this story is the story that I repeated constantly. Almost every single day. When I was in high school, throughout summers, and just in general. And I always wanted to say, how do I stop these bad habits? How do I stop staying up so late, eating junk food, just binge eating, and just playing video games, wasting all my time in the digital world? You know, you want to create something, you want to go out and do something. You don't really enjoy it when you just do it all the time with those games. No one likes being a consumer. It's fun to go out and create your own adventure. But I got caught up in those habits. I thought to myself, how do I kick these bad habits and addictions? It took me a while to realize this, but the real secret is that these addictions are not problems in our life. They're actually solutions. And what that means is, at the end of a long day, when you go home and you go on your phone, you're just scrolling, or you're playing games, or you're binge eating, or whatever that is, alcohol, drugs, porn, whatever that may be, that's really a solution to something else, to some insecurity. Maybe it's the fear that you didn't get enough done today. You want to just have some enjoyment to make the day worthwhile. Or maybe it's the fear that even though you did some stuff today, you're still so far from your goal, from where you want to be. And you feel that feeling of despair that I'm never going to get there. And that fear cripples you and causes you to self-destruct. Right? Or maybe it's just you have so much stress. Maybe you are on the right path to your goals. Maybe you are succeeding throughout your day. Maybe you're PRing in all your training. You know, for me, I was at a certain point PRing every single day, shooting better shooting percentages. You know, I broke my record from many spots in 3-point shooting. And yeah, I came home at the end of the day and I said to myself, well, I just went into those habits because I was worried that, you know, maybe I'm succeeding today, but, you know, there's a fear that the more you succeed, the farther down you can fall. The higher you go, the farther you'll fall if you fail. And failure is inevitable. But there's a difference between these little failures that you have every day or every once in a while versus these failures that come from within. Because the only failure that's within your control is when you quit. If you don't quit, then every failure is just a lesson. But if you quit, then that's a true failure because you chose to do that. If I go out and play in a game and I miss every shot, at least I took those shots. The true failure would be if I had stopped shooting or if I decide not to play anymore. That's a true failure because it was within my control. I gave up on trying. I gave up on going out and doing it. And so to get back on topic, when we start to change our mindset to say that these bad habits are solutions to the problem. Like, for example, with me, PRing every day, and I'm playing very well, and I'm at the best point in my basketball career, and then I go home, and I'm just so overwhelmed with stress. Part of it's fear, part of it's, just the heavy workload of the day. And then you start to realize that when I'm stressed out, I just go to these things. And these things are actually the solutions to my high stress. It's kind of acting as a safety net. Oh, I go home, I'm super stressed out, right? So then I go play games on my phone. And then after that, after a few hours of playing games, till 3 a.m. or whatever, then I'm not as stressed anymore. I'm too tired to be stressed, right? Or I've had so much game time that now I'm in play mode and I've had fun. And the thing is, these are solutions to high stress. These are solutions to insecurity and fear. They do help us relax, but the thing is, they're not the best solutions. They're inefficient solutions because they keep us coming back for more and more, and they lead us down a bad path. You don't want to be constantly having to stay up later and later every day to feel normal or to feel like you got some rest. You don't have to constantly feel like you need to binge eat to get some rest, or you have to watch a bunch of TV, play games a bunch to feel like you got rest. So while these are solutions, they're inefficient solutions, and they're ineffective because they lead you on a poor path. And so what's the real solution to this? Instead of saying, I'm going to start ending all these bad habits like I kept trying to do over and over and failing, what I started doing is saying, these habits are a solution. They're a defense mechanism. My body knows it needs some relief from the stress, so it's going and doing all these things. Okay, if I just stop doing these things, then I'm still feeling the stress. I'm still hitting that pain. I feel that pain, and I feel that heaviness of stress and the fear and everything. Okay, so what if instead of trying to remove those things, because that's the safety net, that's stopping me from feeling all the pain, instead of just pulling out the rug from under me, I can start replacing it. I can start adding in good habits and good coping mechanisms for my stress. And by doing that, slowly the bad habits will start to fade away automatically, right? Because I won't need these methods if my stress is naturally reduced in a good way. I won't stay up so late. I won't play games. I won't binge eat or whatever. Addictions or habits, if I'm not feeling the way that I'm feeling, if I'm not having this high level of stress, if I found a way to dissipate it in a good way. And so examples of these kind of coping mechanisms with stress are hobbies. That's one example. For me, I like to play the piano. I like to sing. So that's a fun thing that I can just do, and I do it solely because I enjoy it. It's one of those things that it doesn't have an end goal. Everything in your life is goals. You have your basketball dreams, you want to get good grades, all these different goals. Hobbies are those things that you just enjoy doing them. Or, of course you enjoy basketball if that's your passion. But hobbies, you don't have an end goal with it. You just do it simply for the enjoyment of it. So I play piano for like 10 minutes a day. And if it starts feeling like something that I'm forcing myself to do, I'll stop. Maybe that day I won't play, or I'll just play 5 minutes that day. And when my hands get tired, then I'm like, all right, I'll just stop. Right? Because it's just something that I do just for fun. And that relieves a lot of stress. And then, so first, that's hobbies. Then you got other things like venting. You can talk to a good, trusted friend. You know, FaceTime a good friend. Text works, voice memos works. If you have someone in person, you know, like your grandpa, your mom, your dad, brother, sister, cousin, anybody that you can talk to in person on a daily basis, even once a week, it helps relieve stress a lot. Talk about your day, talk about the things that you've done. And you start to realize that, you know what, I did a lot of work today. I did really well today. Like, this day counted. I made this day mean something. You don't feel that guilt and that stress at the end of the day. That's saying, you know what, is it really worth it? Am I really getting anything done? Am I really going towards my goals? So, number 2 is venting or talking to a friend. And you know, there's other ways of doing that. Not just a friend or family. You know, a therapist, maybe a coach, any kind of person that you trust. Also, things like, you know, making YouTube videos can work for this. Any kind of thing that you're expressing yourself and you're able to let out all the emotion, all the stories, all the whatever, good and the bad throughout the day. You're able to communicate that and just kind of take off all the burden from your shoulders. You know, a lot of us are really ambitious. We have these big goals, and it feels like it's just us against the world, right? We have these huge ambitions. Every weight is on our shoulders. All the people that were counting on us to succeed, all the people that believed in us, all that pressure's pushing down on you that, you know, they believed in me when others didn't, so I gotta do it for them. Or maybe people didn't believe in you. Maybe I have to prove them wrong, or I have to prove myself right. That's a lot of pressure. Sometimes it feels like you're all alone. You gotta remember is you're never alone. You know, there's always people in your corner. And those people that support you, the ones that truly support you, will be there for you to vent, for you to talk to. You know, and sometimes you gotta be that for the other person they can talk to, but don't be afraid to lean on someone. Take all that pressure off your shoulders. Because there's no point of keeping it all to yourself. There's nothing noble about keeping all these problems and all the stress on your own shoulders, you know? There's always someone that's, you know, that has some time to give you. There's always someone you can lean on. And if you don't have that person, you gotta find that person. Go out and find those good friends that truly care about you. You know, maybe it's like a priest, maybe it's like a counselor at school, a teacher. Find those people that believe in you and care about you, who you can just share some of the burden with. There's a saying that when you share your wins, they multiply. When you share your burdens, they divide. So, keep that principle in mind. And try to trust in the people that are around you. Maybe it's only a few people. Sometimes it's only one person. But trust in other people. Like, be able to lean on them. And of course, trust in God. Sometimes there's no one there. It feels like it's just you and God. You gotta trust in Him, because He has your back. He knows the path that He has laid out for you since before you were even born. Before you were even created, He had already laid out your path. So trust in Him. But find those people, because He allows those people to be on the way with you. Some people are not going to be there your whole life, but some people you're just traveling and they're on the way. And they can walk with you, help you with whatever you're going through. So that's number 2. Venting or finding a place to let those emotions out. So number 1 was hobbies. Number 2 was venting. Coping mechanism number 3. It's not really new habit you can do, but it's kind of just take a look at your workflow. Are you doing too much? Are you overexerting your body? Like after every workout, do you feel like you're gonna collapse on the floor? Right? Like you shouldn't be feeling like that. You shouldn't be feeling like your body's destroyed every single time you get out of the gym. Because if you're bringing your body to a point where it can't recover, then that's not healthy. And then that means every time you train, you're actually lowering your limit. You're actually reducing how strong, how fast, how effective you are on the basketball court. Right? So, tip number 3 is kind of know your limits. Right? Try to avoid burning out. Try to do the most important things. And also, number 4, recovery. You need to make sure that you're sleeping well enough so that you're able to recover from each workout. Because if you don't recover from each workout, then the stress of that is going to carry over into the next day. And so, make sure you're getting enough sleep to recover. And then that stress should just start naturally fading. One of the things that helped me so much was just sleeping right. If you can get your sleep right, you can be so much better. So those 4 things. Number 1, good hobbies, things you do just for fun. Number 2, confiding in a trusted person, venting to them, talking to them. Your wins, when you share them, they multiply. Your burdens, when you share them, they divide. Number 3, make sure you're not burning yourself out. Don't do more than you can handle. Number 4, make sure you're recovering. Sleep is by far the most effective recovery method. And if you get your 10 to 12 hours a night, which you need as an athlete, and I'll talk about this in a future video, then you'll feel so much better. You'll feel so much different. The energy level you'll feel is tremendous. And you'll wonder why you weren't doing this from the start. I'll add a bonus one here. It's kind of a stress and anxiety tip that I got from a book that I read. And it's pretty much, don't leave any open loops. And so an open loop is when you start a task or you start thinking about something and then you just leave it open and you start doing another task or you start thinking about something else. The more kind of tasks that you start and don't finish, the more thoughts that you go through and don't finish, or plans that you make and don't execute, that creates more stress. You know, you're trying to do 10,000 things at once. Your brain is overloaded. That causes an immense amount of stress. And what helps to reduce this, to stop all these open loops, is to just do one task at a time. You know, instead of, you know, you're doing the dishes and you're doing your homework and you're planning your next workout, do one thing at a time. Just do the dishes, you know, and then just plan out your next task, plan out your homework, plan out your training. By doing one task at a time, it makes it so much easier to just let your brain relax. Because humans are not made to multitask. Despite how much my mom thinks they are, we're just not. Of course, certain things, you know, you can put the dishwasher on, and then you can also go and do something else, and the dishwasher will keep running. But that's not you multitasking, that's you doing another task, and then that's running in the background. You're not having to think about that and do that. But for example, you're working on a task, let's say you're working at your job, you're also texting your friend, you're also working on your side hustle, you're also scrolling on TikTok. Like, all these little distractions, they really add up. It's like a computer. You have so many things running in the background, it overloads your brain. It causes that little circle on the computer to start spinning around forever. There's too many things open. You gotta go into your computer, and you gotta go into your task manager, and you gotta shut off everything else except the one thing you're working on. Work on that one task. And then when you finish that task, start the next task. Just like your computer, your brain operates best doing one thing at a time. Just try it out. Try it out. Say, what is my goal for the next 15 minutes? And just get one task done. And when you do that, it'll eliminate so much anxiety, so much stress. And you'll live a simple life. Of course, you want to plan ahead. You want to get a lot of things done. You want to schedule your day, do that. But don't try to do everything all at once. Or you're gonna guaranteed to fail. You're gonna be guaranteed to fail. So, one thing at a time. And yeah, that's how to cope with stress. And that's pretty much my story of how I figured it out. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. I know this was a long one, a little bit of a rant, but this is the kind of videos I want to make. This is the kind of stories I want to share. Hard-learned lessons. As Alex Hormozy says, you get the lesson without the scar. You get the story without the scar. So, hopefully you can learn from me and not have to go through years of bad habits and years of stress and anxiety, and you don't even realize it because you're just distracting yourself. So try to take heed of these lessons, apply as you can. Start with just one thing at a time. Maybe you add a new hobby, and that helps you relieve a little bit of stress. And don't just pull out the rug on all your bad habits, because the things that we think are bad habits, that we think are problems, are actually solutions. And so try to solve the underlying problem of the high stress, or whatever that may be. Fear, a problem that you're avoiding, whatever that may be that's causing you stress, that's making you turn to these bad habits. Solve the underlying problem. Don't make yourself stop the bad habits. Solve the underlying problem, and the bad habits will fade away naturally. So yeah, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share, so I can keep making these videos. Thanks.